Hello, this is a quick look at the latest LEGO Iron Man Mech Armor set. Comes with 130 pieces, and I purchased it for $10 US and built it live over on Twitch. This is one of the three that was delayed significantly, leading to rumors of its early demise and total cancellation, but it was not canceled. It was simply delayed and finally came out on April the 1st. Was not an April Fool's Day joke. Overall, you can see the stats of this. You can see the overall balance between the dark red and the gold, which I think is very good. And over here, well, you can see a couple pieces in the iridescent or opalescent translight blue. So you got the shield there, and then a suggestion of a thruster of some sort, I believe, out there. This can fold forward, provide them a little bit of protection like that, which is pretty cool. The hands have 3 articulating regular fingers, and then the thumb that comes across. That's nice for this scale, I would say. And there are lots of ball joints in this, of course. Mixel style ball joints, more than it needs though, honestly, because you have this well-positioned one for the shoulder that gives you all kinds of articulation. The way that it's oriented in particular lets you move all around. And you also have the elbow there, and then you also have the wrist as well. So this can all be rotated around different ways, which is really good. And it's sturdy enough, doesn't feel like it's going to fall off. Doesn't feel like it's going to be easily pulled off during play. On the other side, you have a similar thing, just minus the shield. And that right there is a sticker with gold, kind of the champagne gold color. You see the sticker itself is a little bit offset there. Wasn't die cut all that well, unfortunately. But that's against the dark tan color. Got the shooter underneath here, which is the modern style 2nd generation stud shooter that will also shoot tiles. So it's just able to fire directly out of the palm, which makes sense. That right there is a print. That's old Nexo Knight's 5-sided tile piece, shield cover, shield insert piece with the arc reactor shown there. You got the outline of silver. The white is opaque enough. I'm happy with that print. It's pretty good. Good gold, pearl gold colored piece to hold the figure in. Of course, we'll take a closer look at the figure itself, but it's very easy to get the figure in and out. And then moving down here. All right, well, I'm going to skip the hips just for a second and show you. We've got plenty of articulation with the knees here, and there's plenty of also friction. So everything can hold itself in place really well. Just hyperextending can cause these things to pop out in any direction you go too far, but overall, making myself a liar there. I actually could leave that a little bit higher, but generally I've found myself, yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. Pulling that ball up just a little bit. I'm like, I've played around with this thing. I must have just pushed it down really, really strongly onto the ground. It gives it a little bit less range of motion when you do that. It actually will, it has the ability to wedge itself out. But just in general use, I have found this to be more than good enough in terms of how well it holds itself together for play and moving around. Around the back, it doesn't look particularly camera unfriendly, I would say. That overall layout and color blocking between the dark red, the gold, and the 2 different forms of gray. Also the dark tan in there. Yeah, it just doesn't bother me. What does bother me for sure is this offset. You're going to see this. Oh yeah, those are nice. You can see this in all 3 of the mechs that came out most recently. Yeah, that offset is weird. That's the fix they came up with to some stability issues that have not been fully precisely defined. There have been a lot of people who have put out theories, hypotheses about why they had to make the change, why they had to stop production on these and recall them and take them back to the drawing board and delay them and everything, why they had to change the design here. But I've made some theories myself that I think make sense. Some of the theories I've heard do not make sense, but whatever happened, this is what they came up with as the solution. And it bugs me, and I'm sure that it will bug a lot of people because those 2 are not in line. One leg is farther forward than the other. Realistically, in most use, and that goes for kids as well. There are plenty of kids who will be bothered by that. I guarantee you 100,000%. There are plenty of people who are in the target market for this who will be bothered by that. But then there are plenty who will not be bothered by it. So I'm just showing it to you so you can see it. If it bothers you too significantly, then stay away from this because it will definitely get on your nerves just knowing that it's there. But if you don't know that it's there, if you don't care about it, it's not really doing anything. It doesn't affect the the posability of the thing doesn't affect the playability of it, and it is nice and secure. It gives you a good, still has a good range of motion, but gives you a good consistent amount of friction there and a good consistent clutch power overall. So the solution is functionally good. It's just, well, it's not symmetrical, and that feels weird and not good to me personally. The figure is new and unique and exclusive up to this point as far as I have been able to see. I tried to look into this and figure out what precisely it's supposed to represent, and ironically, the closest match to this that I found was a knockoff, non-Lego, non-licensed rendition of a Iron Man Mark 42 suit. Which, well, the Mark 42 suit does look similar to this, especially down the torso in many ways, but this also has a lot more dark red on it, especially with the arms. However, I understand that, you know, they went for the basic arms here with no printing on them to be cheaper for a cheaper set, and probably if they had printed some gold on there or gone with gold arms and printed plenty of dark red on it, plus some black and everything, then it would have looked more like Mark 42. But yeah, it's probably the closest match, but definitely not an exact match. Very good torso, hip, and leg printing though. I like it a lot. Really, really good detail in there. Of course, the head is the helmet is the single piece mold. It is printed very well. Well, the quality of the printing is very good there. I'm very satisfied with that. But yeah, I mean, it's the one piece thing. It's a little bit easier to play with, harder to lose the parts, but it is still the one piece thing. I prefer the two piece one myself, but I've never been fully vehemently opposed to this design, and it can definitely work better for some other types of suits or styles. Underneath that same Tony Stark MCU face that we've had, or pair of faces that we've had for quite some time now, but no alternate hairpiece is included to go with this figure. Last up, those are the only leftover and extra pieces, and this is what the sticker sheet looked like with just 3 pieces on it in total. And you can already see just how offset the die cut is. I continue to love the $10 price point for Lego sets, and this line continues to be a good value, I think, for that price. 130 pieces, some of them are big, but just overall the amount of stuff that you get here is good. I think this looks really good. I think that the color blocking, the balance, like I said, all throughout of the different colors that are used here is done fantastically well and couldn't really be better. The leg thing will always trip me out. Oh, there's one thing that I didn't like about this. I'll show you the back of the box there. One thing I did not like about this, because if you look underneath here, they used 2 modified 1x1 plates with the clip on top to get the gold color there, which I do appreciate, rather than going with like medium nougat, which is the closest substitution that you could get for a modified 1x2. Those 2 are able to separate out just a little bit because the tan color, the regular tan colored brackets here are being pulled apart slightly just by the way that this is built. There's no stress or anything. Everything is built legally, but just the way that Lego clutch power works. They're being pulled apart slightly, and what that does is it actually reduces the clutch power on this piece here, this 2x2 with the double notch. So this actually falls off too easily, and I've tried adjusting this around a little bit to try to see if I can find the perfect alignment, and nothing does really add to that clutch power. So this unfortunately does pop off just a little bit too easily. Not a big deal, but I do hope that they will eventually come up with a 1x2 in gold to help with that problem overall. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, yeah, I think it's pretty good as long as you can get past this weird offset down there. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.